Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Good evening, Bobby. It's great to have
Hi.
Bobby Cash.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's great to
Aubrey,
have
Lorraine,
Bobby.
and everybody out there. Hi, howdy. Good
Hey,
evening.
howdy.
Howdy.
And it's a wonderful evening here in India. We're just waiting for the show to start. And people are logging in and coming in. We'll give a little more time for all of them. We want to welcome all our friends from right out there in Australia and on the other side in the USA across North America. Lovers of country music the world over are gathered this evening, this morning in USA and Canada, and tonight in Australia. So here we have Bobby Cash, and this is his song, his own composition, lyrics, music, and singing. Bobby Cash singing and playing Tumbleweed.
Blow into town, but I won't stay long. I'll do the rounds, and I'll be up and gone. And if you want, I'll give you a song about a road that goes on and on. Tumbleweed, I'm a tumbleweed. I roll with the wind wherever it takes me. I got no plans, I'm fancy free. I'm just a tumbleweed. I've run with high rollers, I've cruised the fast lane. I've got friends all over, everybody knows my name. I'll change direction without any warning. Life on the hop ain't right, but it ain't boring. Tumbleweed, I'm a tumbleweed. I roll with the wind wherever it takes me. I got no plans, I'm fancy free. I'm just a tumbleweed. Tumbleweed, I'm a tumbleweed. I roll with the wind wherever it takes me. I got no plans, I'm fancy free. I'm just a tumbleweed. I'm just a tumbleweed. Yeah, tumbleweed.
Wow, that was amazing. And that was Bobby Cash with his own music. Bobby Cash has composed, has set the music, written the lyrics, sang and played the song, and he is known world over as the Indian Cowboy. In fact, he is one in a billion. Of course, it's now 1.35 billion.
1.3.
Bobby, welcome, and it's so good to have you with us.
Thank you, Aubrey, Lorraine. It's such a pleasure, such an honor to be on this talk show. And I just thank God we're doing this. And to everybody out there from different parts of the world, different time zones, and maybe different tastes in music.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
This
You
evening,
bet.
you're with Bobby Cash, and you're with Lorraine and Aubrey, and this is very special.
Yes.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have
And
a
you
great
know,
time.
really put us in a mood, man. Bobby, even my accent is changing to country.
Y'all want to talk real country style?
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
that.
You see this hat? You see the jacket?
I like the hats, and I hope there's more people out there who we can't see. Maybe they got their hats and boots on too.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we're gonna rock. We're gonna have fun together.
Yeah.
And Bobby, I just want to appreciate you. You're a great human being,
Just
and
thank the Lord for that.
absolutely, absolutely.
This blessing.
Um, Bobby has been an amazing human being. First, okay, born in India, not very far from the city of Dehradun, which is now the capital of the state of India called Uttarkhand. For those of you who are outside India, it's a lovely place in the hills. So
Yeah.
when yeah,
Where I live, it's called Clement Town. Clement Town.
Clement Town,
Oh,
that's
Clement
right.
Town. Yeah.
So Bobby's journey is very, very interesting. His love for music came from his aunt from Tennessee, who was to send Nashville, Tennessee, who's to send.
She lived
Uh,
there for a while. Yeah.
yes,
Records.
and you received audio cassettes. You received audio
Records. Records.
records. Okay,
This is
okay.
this is even before uh, tapes and cassettes came out.
Wow,
It was
wow.
records, vinyl records.
Terrific,
Yeah.
terrific. So it started there with this passion for music, and I can imagine Bobby as a young guy going out there, getting hold of somehow getting hold. Tell us the story of how you got into playing and singing country, Bobby.
Well, I mean, I guess I owe to my family, folks in my family. I mean, when I was born, I heard music being played in my home. Those days you had records or you had the radio, whatever. But among the different kinds of music that I heard growing up, country music always played a very, very prominent part because somehow my mother and other people in my family, uncles and aunts, they loved country music, and I kind of grew up listening to it. And of course, like you just mentioned, this aunt of mine who back in the '60s she went to guess where, Nashville, Tennessee. So she'd send us all these records, great country music artists, whether it was Johnny Cash or Charlie Pride or Hank Williams, Glenn Campbell, you just name them. And somehow we had access to the music, and those songs were played. And of course, my family loved music, and my uncles, aunts, and my cousins, and everybody. Somehow we were blessed with the gift of music. So everybody, the young guys playing guitars, and older people, we kind of lived out in the country. So we'd have our sing songs, and some of the most popular songs. The songs we sang were all these old Western songs and country songs, and so it just happened, got
That's
exposed to the
amazing.
music, yeah, and loved it.
Ama-
Yeah.
Amazing. So we're going to be listening to Bobby's early favorites. When Bobby was young, what would he listen to? Let's go through the journey of Bobby Cash, right from India to he then. Let me talk about the story later, but let's listen to some music first.
Okay, you want to go back when I was a little kid? I, when I
Some of
was,
your
well, I'll tell you, one of the most loved singer. My mother, for example, other people in the family, she loved Jim Reeves.
right.
And at that point of time in the '60s, he was probably the first truly international artist from, a country music artist. And I remember I was a little boy, and I saying Jim Reeves was like great voice, and but I loved those songs. I couldn't sing like Jim Reeves back then, and but I remember here's one of the songs which I recorded a version of it some years back on a CD I did, but went something like this. Am I losing you? Are my fears coming true? How I wish I knew. Am I losing you? Is your love really true? Is there somebody new? How I wish I knew. Am I losing you? Am I too blind to see what's been happening to me? Every road has a bend. Will I be sweetheart or friend? Will the sweet things you do for somebody new. How I wish I knew. Am I losing you? Too blind to see what's been happening to me. Every road has a bend. Will I be sweetheart or friend? Well, the sweet things you do be for somebody new. I wish I knew. Am I losing you?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. You know, these were songs that this played so much in my home. The record, you know, on the record. And of course, I was a little boy with a little voice. But I said, hey, May, you know, I'd like to sing this song. I tried to sing it, but never sounded the way it should be.
But it sounds lovely. It sounds like very much like Jim Reeves.
Well, later on when I grew up,
It
you know,
sounds
the Lord blessed me.
it sounds absolutely perfect and more. It's beautiful, Bobby. It's
Thank you so much. You know,
I want to say this: God has really blessed you, Bobby. God has blessed you with an amazing gift.
Yes, I just thank Him, and you know, it's just happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, hey, you know, sometimes they compliment me on my voice. I say, well, I can't take credit for that because, you know, I've been blessed with it. It's a gift from God. So no credit, but, you know, I've just I kind of use it.
Yeah.
How to work with it. Yeah.
Lovely. You know, so just to share with the audience, and I you know, many know you, and I just want to just acknowledge some of them. We have friends. Erika Sahu is here. Vitam Singh Bahau says, my favorite cowboy from the hill of doom. May Bobby live thousands of years. And you've got a lot of friends gathered here. A lot of them. There's Manoj V. George and Nixon Verghese, and many. I saw Vivakar Shastri, Lal Bahadur Shastri's grandson here. And I think it's still there.
Welcome, friends. You know, it's so great to have you, and many of you I know personally, but you know, I'm here for each one of you, and my songs are for you, and I hope what I say makes some sense to everybody out there. I know you'd rather hear me sing than talk, but
absolutely,
this is supposed to be a talk show, so we'll try to, you know, and I hope I make some sense of what I'm saying, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. So, you know, there's a journey that Bobby went through. And Bobby, we are a music academy, Lorraine Music Academy and Lamb Trust. We do a lot of work through these two organizations, you know, both charity as well as our bread and butter, you know.
Important.
Yeah, very important. So, you know, I want to go through the days when you were a music teacher too in Dehradun.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
You played for the armed forces while you were there before you moved to Delhi.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how did that go for you? How did the teaching? How do you like the life as a music teacher?
Oh, beautiful. You know, I think every part of my life. I mean, when I look back over the years, I think it's almost like everything is linked to the other. It's all part of a path at that point of time, you know. And I think and a lot of things that happened to me were sort of, especially in my journey, were not even planned. For example, me becoming a teacher. Teaching music, you know, I remember the very school I attended in Dehradun. I remember, you know, after I had passed out from school, and it must have been in the early 20s or something like that. And I remember, and I remember the principal of the school coming home and talking to my mom and saying, you know, why don't you tell Bobby to come teach in our school, teach music. The forum, you know, I'd never thought I'd be a teacher. You know, I didn't figure that. You know, I could be any kind of a teacher. You know, I didn't look like a teacher. You know, so-called. Anyway, she said, "No, you tell him," and you know, and they were also neighbors. So So I couldn't say no, and mom also said, hey, why don't you do it? So I said, okay. So I started teaching, and guess what? I was a teacher for the next 8 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah, so 8 years and beautiful years, and I really enjoyed that. And that was also, and I said, okay, I love playing my guitar, I love singing. I said, great, I get to spend so many hours a day with kids, which is good anyway, And I said, I also get to practice like for so many hours every day. I just have to play my guitar. I have to sing. So, and I'm learning while I'm teaching. So it's like became a great, it was another thing. That's the way I looked at it, And before I realized it's like 8 years gone, and I still meet so many of my students. Many of them I don't recognize, but it's amazing when you meet them from back then. Kids who learn singing from me, learn to play guitar, and they still remember their songs. That I can guarantee I was the #1 favorite teacher. A beautiful time of my life, and I learned so much. And it was a platform, like when I used to take my class, I had a ready-made audience of, yeah, the entire school was my audience, but I was imparting something to them.
Yeah.
And I also could try out stuff, I could sing songs and, experiment with them. And man, I don't know how much I taught the kids, but I learned so much. I learned how
Can we get one of those songs from you from those days, if you remember anyone?
All right. There was, these all, okay, I'll tell you, there's a song. Beautiful, beautiful brown eyes. Beautiful, beautiful brown eyes. Beautiful, beautiful brown eyes. I'll never love blue eyes again. Willie, my darling, I love you. Love you with all my heart. 7 long years we've been married, but your rambling has kept us apart. Beautiful, beautiful brown eyes. Beautiful, beautiful brown eyes. Beautiful, beautiful brown eyes. I'll never love blue eyes again. From this valley they say you are leaving. I shall miss your bright eyes and sweet smile, for you take with you all of my sunshine that's brightened her pathways a while. Please come back to the Red River Valley. Please come back to the cart that is true. Please come back to the Red River Valley. I'll be waiting, my darling, for you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There's a question
Great
here.
songs. And of course, I used to write songs. There used to be different things happening in school. Sometimes concerts or different occasions. Some maybe it's a Republic Day or Independence Day, so you write different kinds of songs. And so, I learned how to write songs. I learned how to play, sing, and and of course, always made it very interesting and kind of made them sing differently.
Lovely. And Anuradha is asking a question. Which school in Dehradun was this?
Well, I tell you, this is a school run by nuns. It's called St. Mary's.
St. Mary's School. Okay, there you are, Anuradha. St. Mary's School.
In Clement Town, yes.
In Clement Town, okay.
Which used to be a small school, and we had a lot of boarders, and we had Italian sisters there, and Indian nuns. So a nice little country school, and
wonderful. I'm glad.
But it's funny because I studied there. I did all my did my high school there, but here I was back to it. Just happened like you said, this teaching thing,
Yeah.
And again, you mentioned about the army. I
Yes.
only got full-time into music as a professional, I think about middle 90s, 95, 96.
Okay.
And, but then before that, of course, I was a music teacher, and but I never performed professionally. But now this thing with the army, because the place I live in is we have a huge cantonment here where I live, and of course, I had a lot of friends in the army, and it's really, they knew about me, they were friends, and I was happy. Okay, I was playing in school and maybe singing at home to friends and family, but they said, hey, you got to come and play for us. We were having, they literally, they encouraged me, and you got to do this. And here I was on stage in the army for the different dues, raising days, and sometimes, whether it's a top general coming, and I wasn't doing it as a professional, but again, that was a great stage. That's where I learned how to get on stage and be a performer, and
Lovely.
so
Lovely.
that was did that for
Great time. That's a great time.
yeah.
And
Learned so much.
you're ringing a chord, because just yesterday I was with a grandson of Lal Bahadur Shastri, and the previous week with Lal Bahadur Shastri's sons.
Yeah.
Now, if you know, Lal Bahadur Shastri gave the
Yes,
slogan "Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan,"
Absolutely.
and so you really served the nation's army.
Well,
in
I still,
Jawan.
I still keep doing a lot of performances for the army and the different parts, so I have a lot of dear friends, and anytime I get a call from the army, okay, so it's such an honor and a pleasure, and especially the kind of songs I do, goes down very well with the senior guys, you go back to stuff like Summer Wine and all those songs, so.
Right. Okay. And then you went to Delhi after your dad's passing away. You went to Delhi and you began your career with rodeo.
Yeah.
And before we talk about the first Indian pop album, can you give us a number that you would probably imagine yourself in rodeo? Let's take you through that.
That was a very, very, again, beautiful, another part of my life when we moved to Delhi. This is after I was married, I had a little daughter, and it was like an adventure. I didn't know anybody in Delhi at that point of time, but we talk about it, and but okay, what would I sing at rodeo? I'll tell you. This is one song, because the funny thing was the first thing, when people ask you to sing, say, hey, I do country music, so sing Country Roads. It's like that.
Yeah.
Man, I very rarely sing Country Roads. I like the song, but someone rodeo that one, then Rhinestone Cowboy, then people like Kenny Rogers and Coward of the Country, and songs like that.
Okay.
You take your pick. Whether
Okay.
you want me to sing Country Roads or
You could do a medley, but I would say my childhood favorite at a very tender age was Glenn Campbell's. Here we have the Indian Cowboy. We're talking about the Rhinestone Cowboy.
Well, that was again my rodeo. Every time I sing it, I still kind of takes me back to rodeo, because these two songs, Country Roads and Rhinestone Cowboy, that kind of
Great.
set it
Great.
up. So anyway, okay, I'll do, because you like it, Aubrey. I'm going to do Rhinestone Cowboy.
Thank you.
I've been walking these streets alone, I'm singing the same old song. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway. For hustle's the name of the game, and nice guys get washed away like snow in the rain. There's been a lot of compromising on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, like a rhinestone cowboy, riding down on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo. Rhinestone cowboy, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone.
long. I dream of the things I'll do, with a subway token and $1 to pay inside my shoe. There's been a lot of compromising on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, like a rhinestone cowboy, riding down on a horse and it starts like a rodeo. Rhinestone cowboy, hitting hard and let us draw people out of deep love, and offers coming over the phone. Rhinestone cowboy, riding down on a horse and it starts like a rodeo. Rhinestone cowboy, getting cars and letters from people out deep love, and offers coming over the phone.
Wow,
Amazing.
wow, that was
Thank
amazing
you.
playing.
Thank
You know, you've taken me to childhood days.
Yeah, that's what music does. It's like a bridge.
Yes.
Connects you to your own life and to other people in different times and different. You feel the same way.
That's right. I feel the same way. In fact, I have a lot of my. I'm just seeing Jacinta Fernandez, Paul Pereira, my old school friends joining in, enjoying the music. Thank you. Bobby, this is great. And we've got people sharing about the way you play. They just love the way you play.
And sing.
And
you
sing.
can't tell what you are. Are you guitarist or you singer? Are you both? It's very rare
it's-
to have this.
Let me tell you, it's very confusing for me. I get confused sometimes because it's like I'm a real guitar, but I don't have to sing. And by the way, for everybody listening out there, I just want to, and I have to say this every time at every show, wherever people hear me, that I'm not using any backup tracks. This is the age of backup tracks in karaoke. Whatever I'm playing is totally live. It's just God has blessed my hands with this ability, and I worked hard with it. But it's just my hands and the 6 strings on my guitar. So there's no other music. And of course, I'm tapping my foot. You can hear that. All right, there's this foot tapping, and of course my voice. So this is absolutely real. And if you were here in the room with me, you would see that I've got no hidden tricks and no, sort of gizmos. So this is real. But yes, sometimes it's confusing because I have to kind of balance it out, because I'm also a singer. If I wanted to, I could just pick up a mic and have somebody back me and sing to me. And so it's always that thing, and I want to make sure everything is at par. Sometimes I don't want to run too ahead with the guitar playing, then say, hey, I got to get my singing too. And sometimes I forget, because I think probably I probably, if you were to ask me, and for so many years, I never bothered to sing. I never thought of myself as much of a singer. This was I love playing the guitar. But it's only people who kind of encouraged me to, when I'd sing, they say, hey, we like your voice and you should sing more. And after about 1,000 people, and then of course they told me, you can sing it, and of course all the time I spent teaching kids in school, So I said, well, if about 1,000 people say they like my voice and like my singing, I better learn to like it and do something about it. Yeah, but
Thank
but
God.
it's like it's you have to create that balance. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not forgetting either.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. No, we're going to talk about that. I just want to share with the audience. There's something, Bobby, this is an amazing journey that I want to share with the audience. And yes, you must sing and you must play. And we've got comments. We've got fans who really admire the way you use your fingers, both your left and your right, and your feet and your voice. I mean, it's amazing. And guys, just watch the fingers. This is a masterclass in concert.
It's easy when you learn how to do it. The trick is you don't try to do it. Just do it. I trust my fingers. I kind of now, I know they won't let me down. You know what I mean? Before I go, let me play you something that I feel like playing. I'm very instinctive, so.
Yeah.
Sure. beautiful.
Yeah, that's
so
something
beautiful.
I composed, and but it's just that it becomes a part of you, and you can just a point comes you can do anything on this. This is an orchestra.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's so true.
It's unbelievable what you have done with your God-given abilities, but you have also worked and made that possible.
Oh,
It
there's a
is
lot of
impossible to do it otherwise.
there's a lot of hard work, to to get your fingers to move, and for your brain, and also, I mean, I do this thing, and I sing also, like you were talking about singing and playing. So I think maybe I have a special kind of brain because I can sing independently of what I'm playing. Yet it's I don't kind of get. It's so easy to get lost what you're doing and forget. But I think I've been blessed with a certain kind of
I
that's
think
the way my brain
music.
works. So I can kind of split it up, and I mean I don't have to think about what I'm playing. Just
Yeah.
happens in the same way. I just sing. So and if I try to think about what I'm doing, then I'm in serious trouble. Because sometimes it's so complex. If you it's like it's like driving a car. Aubrey, imagine if you were trying to drive a car. You do that when you're learning. You try a lot of things, but imagine you're driving and you're saying, hey, now I got to press the clutch, now I got to change this gear, no, no, I got to do the accelerator. I mean, what kind of drive would that be? You just get in the car, you probably you drive out with Lorraine, you're just talking and chatting, everything happens automatically. There's
You're in
traffic
sync
on the
with the
road,
car.
but the brakes work, everything is like instinct.
Yeah.
So I think it's about getting to that point where you can, and that's what practicing and training, and I think that's the whole aim of it. So
There you are.
it's the same way with singing. If you're trying to sing, I mean, and people can sense it. So you get to that point. Of course, it's hard. It's hard work. You have to try a lot of things, but try until it becomes instinct and till it becomes you. Second nature is like talking. You just talk.
So here we have Maestro Bobby Cash. This is amazing, Bobby. And I just want to share with the friends, the audience, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, you have a Maestro before you, and his journey is it's the music. I mean, it's so good to hear and see the applause for the music. But let me tell you, a lot of hard work has gone into it. There's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of pain. And for those of you who are, learning music, let me share with you, this requires a lot of effort to come to this level of proficiency.
Yes.
And spend some time. Bobby will be with us doing masterclass in the future. But it's so great to have him today. I want his music to speak to us. But before we continue with the music, let me just share something with you. There's a clip, Bobby, I'd like to share. Many who love country music, and I've met you personally, know this about you. But I think for those who don't know this, let me share with you, from a nation of 1.35 billion, we have one in a billion, that's Bobby Cash, because, he has gone
Yeah,
to places.
that time it was 1 billion when they tagged me. Yeah,
Yes,
it was early 2000s. Yeah.
that's right. So in the early 2000s, Bobby got an invitation to go to, was it late 90s or early 2000s?
Where
To go to Australia for that competition.
that was 2003. The Tamworth Country Music Festival.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest country music festivals in the world. Yeah.
Yes. And
2003.
Bobby got an invitation because there was somebody out there listening to his music. You see, when an opportunity comes, when God gives you an opportunity, you need to be ready. And that's what Bobby was. Bobby was ready. Okay? Bobby was ready, practicing, teaching students, all that he went through his life, going back to, listen to the songs that his aunt sent on the records or tape, and practicing and figuring out how you listen to look at his fingers, the way it moves. It's a lot of work years of hard work that's gone into it. And then one fine day, there was a man from Australia who met Bobby. I do not know where, Bobby, but you can tell me the story. But then this man looked at Bobby and said, here is one in a billion for sure. Invited him for a competition, and then his history. In 3 days, he won the hearts of Australia, top of the charts, and there you go. So let's have this video clipping played. It was made and aired by ABC, Australia Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah, and later on a Discovery Channel in India.
Fantastic. So here is the son of the soil. getting acclaim internationally, both in Australia and the USA, the country music locations, geographies in the world. Let's have a peek into this journey of his, and before we continue with Bobby's music.
My name is Kishore, Bal Kishore Das. A lot of people used to call me Cash. It's like it came out of Kishore, Cash.
His name is Bobby Cash. Here's the clincher though. He grew up in the Himalayan foothills of India and he chose country music as his career. Well, he joins us in the studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve, and good morning, Australia.
You painted up your lips and rolled and curled your tinted hair. And yes, it's true that I'm not the man I used to be. Or Ruby.
Want a guitar? One, two, go wide. And A. 3, 2, 1. Booking down.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you. Enjoy Tamworth, won't you? I will.
You'll love Tamworth. Oh, I'm telling you, you'll have a hell of a time. It'll be great. Thanks a lot.
I hear a train coming, she's rolling down the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps moving all in the San Antonio.
And he's brought with him India's own country music star, Bobby Cash. Let's get to the nub of the question. What is country music?
What is country music?
Country music is the music of pioneers, you know.
That's right.
What meaning does that all have in India, Bobby?
Country music and this cowboy thing is really a spirit or an attitude, because country music is about real life. It's sentimental music. It is about family. It's about your mom and dad, about your roots, about your hometown, and these things.
Exceptional. It's a credit to his country.
And in the evening we had Southgate in. Again, I got on stage. Fantastic.
Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues.
Bobby Cash.
He's more than good, mate.
He's excellent.
Well, let me tell you a bit about myself.
Before I got professionally into music, in fact, we had a little school where we helped children out.
Oh, this school? Now it so happened that these nuns are very fond of cash and they closed down their hostel.
And then Bobby came up with the idea to open the school.
And we are catering to the needs of the very poor.
This is basically the dorm where we have the children.
They're right from the age of 3 years to about 18 years, you know. They're two twins also. They're 3.5 years old.
Yes.
Both of the girls, you know.
We've got very small children also. And it's more like a home for them.
It's more like a home. So they love it, you know. That's it. Come. Colin's here also, the children are there. Basically, children are from all the broken homes, you know.
For me, it's about giving what you have and giving it with all your heart.
Thank you very much. I'll be back.
Bobby Cash.
Bobby Cash.
1 in a billion.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Checking on down the line. I'm a little away in the Lompoc Street is behind. But nothing bothers me tonight. Where I could dodge the scales all right. Same days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Yeah, my ring's a little low, but that don't mean she's slow.
Straight out of India.
Beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And easy on the eyes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, my hometown's coming inside.
He's old, but he was still cowboy, you know. And I started singing El Paso. I somehow knew
that this would be Smokey's song.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
He said, I never heard anybody play guitar the way you doing. You know what you were doing. I never heard anybody do that.
We went back to the caravan park and we just said to everybody, you've got to see this guy, he is really good. And we've seen a few people that we told this afternoon, they're in here tonight as well.
And I was amazed by the guitar work, firstly, and secondly, by the quality of his voice.
So I'm not too worried about it, you know. The Lord has taken care of me.
For me, the Lord means for us to give. That's what I know.
Yeah. To the way you used to do.
And it just shows that in this world where there's so much of strife and people find so many barriers between each other, you know, here it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, you know.
Thank you for just being you. Right now, falling in love with you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here. I want to thank all of you. And I gotta go now.
Finally, I wonder. It just blows my mind. Why is everybody so kind? People have seen me on television and read about me, and there's word of mouth about me, and everybody says, well, that's Bobby Cash, and he's really the man to go and check out, and man to go and listen, and he's one of a kind.
Things I should have said and done.
I have a lot of people back home, my wife and other people in my family, my sisters, my aunts, who were very praying people. And I prayed, I said, Lord, I'm in trouble, you got to help me. And I called my wife up, I said, start praying, you know, because I have to get up on stage.
You were always on the mind. I can say this about Tamworth again. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Thank you, I love you all. Bobby Cash, folks. Bobby Cash.
That was awesome. Bobby, you are
so
inspiring.
Proud of you. We're so proud of you. What an amazing
it's like,
musician.
It was like, you know, it was like when I watched it, it was like being in a movie, you know, it's like, man, is this real? And it's like, I wonder, but it happened. It's documented there.
Yeah, it
But it was-
happened, and you're so humble, Bobby. You're so humble.
I'm glad I was the guy who had to experience that, and just
That's wonderful. Let your guitar and your voice and your music speak, Bobby. But I want to just remind our friends who are listening and viewing this that Bobby's going to take us through a journey. It's country music, it's gospel music, it's classical music, it's Hollywood music, it's Bollywood music, it's folk music, there's patriotic music, all rolled in one in this humble young man. I tell you, may God bless you abundantly, Bobby.
Great man.
Great man. Yeah. May God bless you abundantly, Bobby.
okay, let me play you something. I heard something that I was playing something on that clip, you know. Let's see if I can play that. I do this for fun. Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. I know that you can play every kind of music. You can play classical, you can play
Yeah, it's
pop, you can play rock, you can play rap, you can play
whatever happens. Yeah. It's just a matter of playing.
Yep.
Just you let yourself go and you play.
Yeah.
Wine-colored days, warmed by the sun, deep velvet nights, when we were one. Speak softly, love, so no one hears us but the sky. Vows of love we make live till we die. My life is yours, all because you came into my life with love so softly, love.
I'm just playing it. Whatever came to my head, it's not even planned.
That's the way. That's the way.
Just letting
talk show, yeah. We cannot speak when you're playing such beautiful music.
Yeah, I
do not want to speak.
We're going to let you play and sing. Let your soul flow.
mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah, please do that. But I just must say, I was.
Mozart on the guitar. That is fantastic.
Yeah, it's you just play. It's not just country, And of course, if I want, I can do the very hardcore, the Spanish gypsy stuff. That's like I love doing that. So it's all.
Why don't you?
Please do
Why
it.
don't you do that?
Okay, let me play you a little bit of flamenco.
now if you're a magician or a musician.
No, it just
You would cast a spell on all of us watching,
No, it's
hearing,
like,
and all around the world.
yeah, sometimes when I perform, a lot of people, many people kind of just like to hear me sing. So sometimes it's nice when the guitar gets noticed because this is so much hard work. So much harder. Singing is so much easier sometimes.
Very true.
I know.
But it just happens,
Yeah, we can see the hard work that you put in.
There's a lot of hard work. Well, even now, to keep it, it's like to maintain the muscles, the fitness, the flexibility, and the speed of the fingers. You have to keep it.
Yes, I think so. Music is a very intellectual subject. It's all about it's intellect, it's physics, it's mathematics. What do you have to say about the magic of music as a subject? Tell us something.
Yeah, that's what I always say. I said there's three aspects of music, which it's so important to, especially to youngsters, we're trying to figure out because sometimes it's such a mystery. Well, there's a mystery to music, of course, but basically music is it's science. It's numbers. It's mathematics. We have these 12 notes and the different permutations and combinations and certain rules and regulations connected with that, so you got to know the numbers of music or the maths of music. But there's also a mechanical aspect or the physics of music. It's also physics of sound, of course. You got to understand sound, but also to be able to get music out, you need a musical instrument of some kind. You got to use your body in some way. Even if you're singing, you use your vocal cords. And whether you play a guitar or Lorraine, like you play the piano, so that's actually it's a mechanical device. There's a certain way the keys are set up, so you have to master the mechanics of that instrument. And for that, you got to use sometimes if you're playing a trumpet. There's still the mechanics. How you move your fingers and you train your fingers. For certain movements, like on a guitar, the left hand and the right hand, they have to move in a. So it's actually physical training. It's mechanical training. So there's that takes a lot of practice to get the muscles moving that way, and then to get the movements incorporated into your memory. That's where the practice part comes in. So you got to know the science. You got to know the mechanics of it. But then if it was just science and mechanics, it still wouldn't be music, because what really makes music, sets it apart from other sciences, is the very soul and the heart that comes into the music. It's about your emotions, it's about your feelings, and when you can bring all of these together, you understand the science of it. You're mechanically, you're able to execute it. But then it's just like you make a perfect body and everything, but you need the spirit or the soul in it to make it come alive, and that's what makes it come alive. And then a point of time comes, you can express it with your fingers. You can play something. You can take anything.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
this is
That's
out
an
of the
old
world.
song. Many people would be from
Yes,
Hum Tumhe
yes,
Jaane.
yes.
Yeah.
It's lovely to sing, see your fingers move and play the, make the melodious music.
There's a
It's
question
just
I have,
yeah, yeah,
Bobby. Um, we always want to inspire the next generation.
yeah, yeah.
And there seems to be some kind of disconnect between the songs of the new generation, the songs that they hear now, that we hear now, and that the songs of the past, the songs that maybe you play. The children of today really don't know the music that you play.
Yeah.
And because they don't know the music that you play, they keep listening to the music that they hear their friends playing. And that is that music that's very popular, the popular music of today. The popular music of today is okay. It's not bad, but it definitely cannot compare with the music of the past.
I'll tell you very simply, because music is a reflection of the times we live in.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out, it reflects life,
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, life is so different today. Times are so different.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up is so different.
Mm-hmm.
The challenges are so different.
Mm-hmm.
Environment is so different. I mean, the very air we breathe. I mean, it's just a simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
The air I used to breathe when I was a kid, and now there's a difference. I mean,
Yeah.
you hear it on the news. Everything, the traffic is different. So, back in those days, people wrote and composed and did music as a reflection of their times.
Mm-hmm.
So which is okay. Where today it reflects the time, but there's another aspect to it, because it's like always like music is always connected, or it should be connected.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we love the music of, we grew up in the 60s, 70s, or whatever, 80s, and some grew up later. But the thing is, we weren't just didn't stick to that. I mean, I was listening to music which was composed by somebody like a Mozart or a Beethoven or a Bach,
Yes.
a few hundred years back.
Yes. That's
You know
right.
what I mean? So music has no expiry dates.
Absolutely.
This is one of the things that it's like there are these foundations, and the beautiful thing about music from the past that came out from the great masters, and that also came out from a time when the world was really, in many ways,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no denying that it was a much more easier place, less challenging place. It had its challenges, but it was overall, like I said, even the air to breathe was better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to draw from that, build on that. We just can't isolate it. Do
Absolutely.
your own thing, and a lot of the stuff I play goes back to all those influences of classical music and those beautiful times,
Mm-hmm.
and being connected with previous and then of course music has this very, very sentimental aspect, because it connects us to places and times. For example, I've performed to a lot of country music audiences, and I've many of my shows I'd have very young people, and sometimes three generations. This is my dad, and this is my granddad.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the younger kids would tell me, this was my granddad loved this, and because of that, somebody had a grandparent or a grandmother who loved that song, and that always stayed with them. And
Yes.
somehow and it's just a matter of, I think also as most music loving families, it's up to us also to kind of connect the kids with. And I've
Yes.
seen that once they hear and once they connect, while not condemning what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you're expressing their thing. But there's so much we can draw on. For example, all these the beautiful chord structures are lying doing. These go back to a lot of what Bach did or Beethoven did, and great composers even in our times. Great jazz musicians, and then of course the guitar.
Yes.
Talk about Spanish guitar. You go back to all those great gypsy guitar players. Many
Yes.
of them who weren't even recorded. So
Yes. Yes.
or
That's
so
great.
you have to open yourself
Yes.
and know there's something, and of course you'll suddenly find that there's so much quality in that stuff which you can now bring on, express your own thing, and you can, instead of just being isolated.
Yes.
And then the dimension from your music will because it's like a journey over generations and over changing times.
Yes, and we have a community here at Lorraine Music Academy that really loves all kinds of music. And we would love to have you play with our students who play Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, rock, and all kinds of modern music as well. And let's do some music together. Bobby, we need artists like you to inspire the next generation and to create our own genre of music, which
you're always
we can take forward.
There's a point of time, there's no matter what era you play the music, there's always I mean, when I play, I've played a lot of stuff. Probably if you ask me to play the same thing again, I'd be doing something that you can create on the spot. That's the beauty of it, you know. You can, and in today's time, there is a lot of freedom to create. This is you know, people have a mindset to. So if you can use the old foundations and use your creativity today. In the old days, people were very, very. There was this mindset, you know, got to do it this way. But people have learned to break. But you just can't disengage yourself, and you also have to kind of. I think it's always good to go back and revisit what the masters did, and just sort of very honestly critique and analyze yourself. Hey, I mean that's how does it work out musically, you know? And why is a certain music stood the test of time? Why has it lasted so long? There has to be something special about it. So it's, and you try to pick those things, you know. That's what inspiration is about.
So I think that if our kids of today listen to the music of the past, they will love it and they can create their own music. But if they don't listen, if they haven't listened to it, then they wouldn't even know. So it's just a matter of exposure and appreciation.
Exposure, and it takes them to watch somebody do it, because we live in a world which is so it's not just listening these days. It's watching and listening. Because of the content that is, you know, on internet, you know, whether it's on YouTube or people watch. They like to watch. That's why visualized music is so people like to. So when they see an artist of the highest caliber, you know, somebody who's a master, and yet who can just make it flow without sort of trying to make it so mysterious or out of reach. They love it, you know. I'm sure if there's any young kids who watch what I was playing, you know, I wasn't playing any new music. I can, you know, you can, but there was a newness to it because I'm creating. It's fresh for me also when I play it. I'm sure they'd enjoy it. You know, a lot of kids love guitar. They say, we just used to hearing the guitar played in a certain way, but you can bring another dimension to it. It's just about being creative.
I'm sure if I asked you to play Yankee Doodle Went to Town, you would play it in a very creative way.
I mean, there's
let's hear you doing that.
it, you know.
There's no end.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
But it's so good to see. Right, but it's so good to see the variations of the various styles of playing that you brought in for the simple music.
Yes.
Terrific.
Wow, you're an incredible musician. And I remember now, I mean, I always remember Bach, the great musician. I find that you have so much in common with Bach because Bach was a great musician, great improviser, great composer, great performer, and a very good musician, a good person. He believed a lot in God and he did his music for the glory of God. And Bobby, we see that in you, even though you are a famous musician and you reached the heights, you still gave glory to God, and you are very prayerful and very God-fearing. And that is a question I have. I have a question. A lot of the musicians who reach the Hall of Fame, a lot of them get into drugs and drinking and all kinds of things. So what is the connection between great stars and all the rubbish that goes on?
I've never figured it out really, because I mean, this is a skill, like any other skill. It's a gift. Like I don't know what it has to do with any drugs or anything, you know. And I mean, if we for example, I just want to talk about sports, you know. These days in sports, for example, drug enhancement and drug usage is totally banned. And yet you have super athletes. All right. In fact, it's totally banned. And they train hard. They're gifted. I mean, there's no connection, actually. I've never figured it out. But I think also this has to do with, you know, when we go back to, you know, the psychedelic 60s and 70s, it was a different time. It was a different era. And where, you know, I don't want to talk about it too much because, but that was a time, you know, after the Second World War, and then the baby boomer generation came along, and then music changed in many ways. Like I said, people started expressing different styles of music, and rock music came along, and somehow at that point of time, drugs and all these things, there were a lot of things going on, and many famous musicians started using drugs and kind of stuff, and it became, it had nothing to do with their music, you know. They were already gifted people, but you know, it just got branded with that, you know. Somebody like you hear of Jimi Hendrix and many of these other guys and great musicians, you know. Now Jimi Hendrix didn't play great guitar because you know, he smoked something, or he had something, used some substance. It doesn't happen that way, you know. I mean, I can you can talk to any musician, he'll honestly tell you that it's got nothing to do with, but it's just something. It got associated with the whole thing. It became very glamorous at that point of time, and of course it was a different time then, because there was a lot of privacy then. It was a time where life was different. But now in today's age, first of all, there's no it won't help your music. It'll probably end you up in more trouble. There's no point in doing it. If you to be a good musician, you know, it's a choice that you've got to make. You know, how far you want to go. But I can guarantee you that for all the guys who've heard me play, you don't have to take drugs or go down that way. I'm not condemning anybody, but I never had to do that. Never had to drink something or smoke something to play the way. I mean, I'm just sitting here and I don't even have a live audience in front of me. But if you want something to be your high, I think for me it's just the music. I thank God for the gift He's given me, and just the joy of sharing it. I'm so blessed, that I've been asked this afternoon by you guys. So I'm just sharing it. I'm happy. This is my high. What else do I need?
Absolutely. And on that note, we want to say thank you.
And then of course there's if you look at it, I mean, how long can your body sustain using things which are proven not good for your health? Because you never know when you step beyond the limit of abuse, and it's a very thin line. So I mean, my advice would be to just let music be your inspiration. Or if there's some person, let that be your inspiration. You don't you don't need to get into all of that. And a lot of the guys who have gotten into, they'll tell you the same thing. If you talk to them privately. I mean, I know a lot of musicians, and they'll tell them, and many of those musicians have got kids and stuff. They would never like to see their kids do that, but it's part of their journey. It's part of the way things were. It was a different world then. Like I said, we live in different times. So it's not at all important.
That's right. That's right. So Bobby, we need to get cracking on this whole move of getting high on music and saying no to addiction.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the drive we need to focus on.
Absolutely. It's just no, that's all. And if music makes you high, and it can.
Certainly can. You're a great inspiration, Bobby. Bobby, the other thing is, I want to focus on a little bit of music and then talk about how the next generation, we can encourage them to focus, how to succeed. What are the ingredients of success? The focus. It's about getting it right here, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different people have people have written books about success, and there's a lot of ways. There's practical ways of going about the music business. For example, if somebody says, I want to make a CD, or make a recording, or there's a solo online, how do I go about it, and where do I learn from? How do I learn music? There's the learning aspect of it. There's how do I get my music out? How do I sign up with the label? And there's so much of this, because music is also business. There's a business aspect of music, and the way things pan out. Success in music is actually, it's basically being successful in the music business. All right, let's put it down to plain hard facts. The guys most of you idolize, I know they are the guys who somehow got into the business of music, and everybody has their own take. But let me tell you that there's a lot of good advice there. But for me, a very simple thing is, you got to be sorted out in your thinking. All right. First of all, you got to recognize that anybody who's musically inclined, it's a gift. It's a special ability from God that you have, and you might have inherited it through your parents or whichever your environment, but there is something special you have, and it's up to you what you do with that gift. The first thing to do is, if you've been blessed with a good voice, or you can play an instrument, you have an inclination, you learn your craft. I always believed in excellence. I've discovered, and of course, it's good to have good mentors. When I was growing up, there was very little. You didn't have too many people to teach you. I never had a teacher that I could learn from. There's a lot of good teachers. So you got to make up your mind. You got to know, okay, this, but you got to know why do you want to pursue it. If you want to, there's nothing wrong with say, okay, I'll take up music as a career. But it's a very, very different career option than a lot of other things. It's not a straight thing like going out there and getting a job, and because there's practical realities. Ultimately you gotta make a living too. But here's your talent. So it's just about, when you sort it out, you got to stay true to your art, and first of all, you got to be ready. It's like for anything. Somehow with music, a lot of people think they can jump into it anytime. It doesn't happen that way. it doesn't matter whether you're formally trained or not. You have to be ready for that. It's like when you go into the army, or you want to become a pilot. Before you get your pips and there's a process. You got to be ready for that to handle a jet plane or whatever. So you got to spend time with getting ready, and that's the most important thing. Then after that, it can be a very, very challenging profession, and most musicians and creative people are very they're very emotional, and many of them are very fragile. Musicians are sensitive people. So you got to handle that, because it's not necessary that everybody's going to applaud you, and that hurts a lot of musicians. There's this thing called patience. In Hindi there is a saying that sabr ka phal meetha hai. So it's there's no hard and fast rules, as from the perspective I'm telling you. I mean, I could tell you this is what you do, but let me tell you a simple thing. In my case, I only got into music after I was married. I had a little daughter. But I tell you one thing, my secret was be ready. Be ready, be prepared. Because if you look at the lives of all these successful musicians, or the people it just takes that moment, or different times of moments. You happen to be at the right place. You can call it divine destiny. I know with me, I can say it was God leading me. It was His hand and destiny working. But I had to be ready to take. So somebody heard you sing. You could be with a certain somebody, or with a certain group of people, or in a certain place, and if you're ready and you get that opportunity, you don't blow it up. And for that, for me, that's the way it worked for me. I picked up my guitar. I was ready. I put on my hat. Even I have to sing for 4 people. You never know. There's 4 people there. Who's that one person? There could be a crowd. Who's that one person? That one call. But you got to be ready. That's what I'll say. And also keep your focus on what you're doing. For me, it was very simple. My focus was on the gift that I have. For me, it still is about excellence and staying true to this, and let the gifts open the doors for me, and whatever, with God's help, instead of just trying to force my way through, and I'm not even ready, or somebody else is not ready for it. It's a two-way thing. All right. And it's being mentally strong too, to be able to, and sometimes you have to persist. So there's all the, and there's the hard work, there's the waiting, because people just see that one time, it's like overnight. But behind that overnight, there can be a lot of things. But if you sort it out, if you're humble, humility is such a, just stay grounded, just stay grounded. Don't let when success comes, be grounded, just be, and it's about honor the one who gave you the gift, keep your gift intact, look after it, and just share it with people, and keep your wits about you. What else can I say?
Wonderful.
Kids are so much smarter than us these days. They're exposed to so much more. But this worked for me. It's still working for me. I'm,
Wonderful. You gave a wonderful answer. It couldn't be better. It's perfect answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobby.
Yes.
Bobby, we look forward to listening to some of your inspiring music. But thank you so much for this. This is, young lads and girls. This is for you. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Bobby Cash from his heart, sharing about his secrets. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not a sort of rehearsed thing. I mean, I'm not even playing anything rehearsed. I just played it like I would, just. Whichever.
We know you. Yeah. That's wonderful. Let's have some music. Let's have your heart.
Okay, a few songs.
Sharing.
And, yes. All right. What? Okay, let me sing something. What should I sing? Pencils for sale. This is a Glenn Campbell song I like to sing.
First time I saw him was on 5th and Main. Said his thirst was for wine, and he sure could use some change. He said wine can't replace a good woman's love, but one thing it doesn't when she's gone, it eases the pain. He spoke of the love he had 10 years ago. He said, you know, I still love her today. As he walked to the corner, this is what I heard him say. Pencils for sale, rings made from dates. I'm sure I've got something for you. Hollywood maps for tourists that are only passing through. Pencils for sale, rings made from dates. Look them over, take your time. 'Cause right now my thirst has never been worse. I could sure use them nickels and dimes. Said he hung out in most of the bars to hide scars folks cannot see. For some, those that are the deepest, they're the ones locked inside of me. A memory can cut through your soul like a cold blade of a jagged knife. And the times I used to hold her, they were the best times of my life. But now it's pencils for sale, rings made from nails. I'm sure I've got something for you. Hollywood maps, tourists that are only passing through. Pencils for sale, rings made from nails. Look them over, take your time. 'Cause right now my thirst has never been worse. I could sure use them nickels and dimes. 'Cause right now my thirst has never been worse. I could sure use them nickels and dimes.
Fantastic, Bobby. That was fantastic.
The world was on fire, no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never thought that I'd find somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. Oh, I just wanna fall in love.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Bobby. That's wonderful.
These are old.
Bobby, I still remember the day when we met for the first time. It was due to a common friend of ours, Valentine Shipley, and today is his birthday.
Yes. Today is his birthday, and he's the person who's been on my heart and my mind and my thoughts, especially today.
Yes.
Yes, and
we miss him a lot. We miss
him a lot. In fact, we're going to have a celebration for him, and it's already being organized. But I sent a video clip, and it's like I said, happy birthday, Val. I wish I'd never had to. I never thought, would have never wished that I would ever wish you this way. But it's, very, very. I mean, you've actually, the first time when we met was when Val and I were performing together in Gurgaon, and
that's right.
And I mean, I've known him, it's like 30 years.
Wow.
So, even before Val has been was into music a long time before me. Yes. I only got into it in '96, but we became friends long before that, and I think this is before I started playing. I remember the first time he came to my home, and it was like there were some common musicians from Dehradun who actually brought him over, some common friends, and it was like Val just walked in. It was like you'd known him forever. It was just like a member of the family walking in, and he brought that smile, and it's like we just met. It's like we knew each other. And there's a word in Hindi, it's called Ronak.
Yes.
It was like suddenly our whole place was a buzz, and after that, it's about middle '90s, about '95 when I started moving to Delhi. We decided, and I didn't know anybody in Delhi at that point of time. I lived in Dehradun, and but guess we had Val there, and it was the first. And Val had already started out, and the things were happening, and and Val was what thing about him. He people loved him, and he loved people. And even back then, so we actually got together, and we didn't know anybody, and Val and me, we started performing together, and we just, I mean, it's absolutely unforgettable, and the times we had, and that personal bond we developed. I mean, right till the end, we were. And in fact, I'd written something, one of the posts about Val. I said, every year, today is his birthday. His music and his guitar would sound sweeter every year, and as a person, he became sweeter and sweeter. So we not only did we connect as musicians, because there was this tremendous understanding. We sometimes we play after 2 years, and it's like people would say, do you guys play together regularly? It's just that, and the thing with when Val has been involved with so many great musicians and great bands all over India. In India, most of my friends, and most of them, some of them will be live there. People from Parikrama, and people like my friend Rahul Ram and Subir and all these guys. We were, in one sense, the time when we started off and really started taking off was all done together. And Val could, he related to musically to anybody playing anything, and there was this I'm talking musically. There's this very special link between Val and me, both being guitar players, and a lot of acoustic guitar stuff, but also the genre of music I played was mostly country music,
Yes.
And but with Val, it was no issue, no problem.
Gelled together very well.
Yeah, no, you saw us,
Yeah,
and
we all were like two brothers.
Whatever he did, it was just simple as that. We never even had to ask each other, what key are you playing on? I just start, and he knew what to do. He just plays something, He's not worried about what I'm going to do. You saw it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We were there. We were mesmerized. And, you know, Bobby, you know, this is something about Val, and I want to remember him during this time.
Yeah.
He would always connect people together. He connected us both.
That was a very special thing about him. That, I told you, when I went to Delhi in the beginning, I knew nobody. I remember Val was involved with the launch of start of Friends of Music, which everybody knows about. So we just landed up in, you know, a newcomer in Delhi, and there was another very close friend of ours with me called Kenny. So Val said, Friends of Music is happening. So we didn't have a clue what's going on. He said, you know. So he brought us over, and I think the very first time Friends of Music happened, we were there for that thing. It's just, he connected everybody he knew. He connected with right from his family, mom, dad, his sister. His home was open, and everybody knew. You know, we were like always together, always together. It was like, okay, and that closeness always, till the last moment, it remained. You know, and you know, not just musically. You know, I mean, just. We were talking just maybe 2 months before he went to be with the Lord. He says, you know, I'm going to come over after the Lord, and I'm going to record your guitar. So I'm going to sit in your studio. I want to do your, you know, you let me do it. I said yes. You know, all kinds of things. Then we were, you know, talking about, you know, anything. And many times he'd call me, you know, he used to call me, you know, like elder brother, you know. So he was a bit younger than me, so anything, if it's something heavy on his heart, and I say, child, pray for me. So there was this all through the years, you know, and everybody in my family, everybody, Val was somebody very, very special, will always be, you know. It was, you know, all I can say is I wish he was around, you know.
Yes.
I wish he was around, because he had a long way to go.
Yes.
And as he was getting sweeter and sweeter.
Yes.
So, in every way. And there were so many things. He wasn't through with things. He wasn't ready to quit.
No.
And but you know, I'm so glad to see legacies, and you know, just and especially in the past few months, he often would speak about, you know, leaving a legacy, and you know, about his, especially about Diva, his daughter, and you know, he actually got me to record a voice clip for her, you know, say something to her, you know. So he was a very special person, and like my own family, like my own brother, and but you know, I have beautiful memories of him, and that's the way I always remember him, you know. So there's all these moments, and he was always trying to, because he was a great connector. It used to be like his goal, you know. So, you know, I'm going to fix. He used to talk to people, you know, get Bobby and me together. And with him, I've ended up, you know, you know, I think I found a picture of us together in Ahmedabad, you know, who, you know, and about playing, and we were playing a lot of Bollywood stuff. We could play anything. He could play anything, and I can also when I want to. So with him, I said, okay, it doesn't matter what it is. We just play it, you know.
It's fantastic. So, you know, he's a connector. He's a great connector. He's a great collaborator.
Even this very evening.
Yes.
There's so many people.
Yes.
Who connected together because of this.
That's right.
This very, yeah, you know, for me, he's still a boy. You know, we were boys together. So like, that's a good old boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. He had the right heart, the right attitude. He had the faith, and he always had a smile, regardless of what's going on. I've never seen him without a smile. You know, a real smile. He's not trying to fake it.
From the heart.
From the heart. His guitar from the heart, sang from the heart, lived from the heart, and I don't think he ever hurt anybody.
No.
I've known him, you know, so it's
very sensitive soul. Yes,
yeah,
very
yeah.
sensitive.
So many people. It's a testament that by the time we finish this, there's so many people, those who could gather live, you know, at Yellow Stage, and all these are friends, you know. Friends.
So Bobby, let me share with you. Yeah. When we had our event together, our live concert on Facebook together on the 20th of December, we were to have the part 2 on 27th.
That was the
and
last
then we turned that into a tribute. But you know how many views, how many people viewed that tribute?
Yeah.
Over 50,000.
Yes.
So, you know, that's the man. We want to remember him for being a man who, yet again, feared God and who walked his life as best as he could, despite all the obstacles. Yeah.
Obstacles. He loved God. He loved people. That's,
right.
You know, that's we often do. I should say, well, he said, what? Same thing, you know. I said, we love God, we love people, you know, and that's what he lived by.
Yeah.
With a smile and without any holding anything against anybody.
Very true.
And you know what? His final interview. He went. It's like this. He went with his boots on.
Absolutely.
He went with his boots on. You know, I'm a cowboy at heart, so I know what it means. You know.
Absolutely.
You know, he was ready, saddled up, and ready to go. Right.
And there are the 3 songs. Yeah. So you know, I want to take us through a journey of the gospel because he sang. He was very clear. I remember the last few conversations we had, and I'm going to request you to sing the following songs. One is for his family, for Diva, for Mona, for the Shipley family. If you could sing them the song, Give Them All to Jesus, because there is pain, during this time. Give Them All to Jesus. His personal song was Country Road, and there's a lovely video that his daughter Diva shot in the mountains, in the Himalayas. And the third song, I'm going to make that a request last, because that was his life, Amazing Grace.
And all these songs, we've sung together too, many times, both on stage and also just like that. So the first one is Give Him All to Jesus.
Are you tired of chasing pretty rainbows? Are you tired of spinning round and round? Wrap up all the shattered dreams of your life, and at the feet of Jesus lay them down. Give Him all, give Him all, give Him all to Jesus. Shattered dreams and wounded hearts like broken toys. Give Him all, give Him all, give Him all to Jesus, and He will turn your sorrows into joys. He never said He'd only sunshine. He never said that there'd be no rain. He only promised us a heart full of singing, and that's the very thing that once brought pain. Give Him all, give Him all, give Him all to Jesus. Shattered dreams and wounded hearts like broken toys. Give Him all, give Him all, give Him all to Jesus, and He will turn your sorrows into joy. Give Him all, give Him all, give Him all to Jesus. Shattered dreams and wounded hearts like broken toys. Give Him all, give Him all, give Him all to Jesus, and He will turn your sorrows into joy, and He will turn your sorrows into joy.
Yes, this is a brings so many memories of Val, this song. And I just pray that Diva, Mona, Dolly, the entire family, and everybody's just gets that peace and comfort from above, you know. And well, what's the other song?
The other song was Country Road, his favorite
Country
song.
Road, yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. There is mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, flowing like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. All my memories, they gather around her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on those skies, misty shade and moonshine, teardrops in the eyes. Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. I hear a voice in the morning, or she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down that road, I get the feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country road, take me home to the place I belong. Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road.
Terrific, Bobby.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Just wondering whether, I still remember this particular song was something that we played for him, on that day. And he is home, isn't it? It's a call that he had.
Yes.
He had a desire.
Well, I can tell you one thing about him. This people might live to be 100 and just have, yet live a very short life. But Val, the years might be short, but I think he lived many lives.
Absolutely.
And the amount of people he connected with and touched, and what he did, people might not even do that in 2 or 3 lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, he did what he achieved, and the life he lived was an overflowing life.
Absolutely.
He did what he wanted. That's why we used to talk. He used to say, we are so blessed. We live the life that we want to live. That's what he said about himself too. He said, I live, in spite of all the ups and downs and everything. So, I mean, but yeah, like I said, he went with his boots on. He was on your show.
Mm-hmm.
And ready for the next one. Ready
That's
for
right.
anything.
That's
so
right.
That's him. But that was God's grace on his life. which he
Amazing
always-
Grace.
Yeah. This is.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. It was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour that I first believed. Through many dangerous toils and snares, I've already come, and it was grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace it will lead me home. And when we then there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we know it stays to sing God's praise. And when we first begun, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. I was blind, but now I see.
Beautiful, Bobby.
That was very especially for Val and family and everybody who loved him and cared for him. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Bobby. We've got
such
to.
a pleasure.
Yes.
Such a pleasure.
Yes, and we've got to go a little rest for you before we go to have that tribute to Val in the other place. And ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, thank you for joining us. This is a treat to have Bobby Cash with us.
Thank
you. And Bobby, we can't thank you enough.
Oh no, just
we are so very grateful. Really, may God bless you. We're so very grateful.
Thank you so
and
much.
Look forward to. You see, we're talking about a man who communicated and made friends and brought collaborations.
Yeah.
And let's collaborate. Let's continue that journey. All right.
Yes.
And
wonderful.
So glad that technology can enable so much that one doesn't have to wait for a flight.
Yeah. I've started liking it kind of. It's because I've spent a lot of time traveling and being on the road. It's fun, but it works. There's always a way, and this is the way right now, and it's a good way. It's working for now.
Absolutely.
And thank you all the people out there who've been tuned in today and who've been logged on Facebook or Zoom or whatever. So thank you so much for being here and watching the show, and it's been a pleasure.
Yes, and Bobby, we really appreciate your music, and may God bless you abundantly. We look forward to hearing more. People are going to log into your various accounts, your social media accounts, and they're hungry for more. There are chats I've not even read, okay? You can read them later. There's so much of appreciation for you.
Well,
there's so many people they're really appreciating. There's David Maloney, I'll just name a few. There's Sri Mulu Murugan, there is, Raghuram. There is Prashant Joglikar, there's Malcolm Wolf from Hyderabad, there's David Maloney, there's Anuradha Bhartari. Thank you so much for joining us, dear friends. There's Kunal Sagar Madan, there's Prashant Joglikar, there's Dominic Francis from U.S. who's watching us.
But there's so many people I know and I
all
don't.
Across, all across the globe, Australia.
But especially those from the U.S. I know it's early morning, so.
Yes.
I was talking to you, Aubrey. I said I know there's a lot of people in the U.S., but it's a Sunday morning. It's kind of very early,
Yes.
At least 6 or 5:30 or whatever. But well, good on you.
No, good on you, and may God bless you. I think God has gifted you, and really, this is wonderful to see your gifting.
There's no denying that, It's God's gift,
Absolutely. Thank you once again, and we want to say bye to all of you. Adios, and may God bless you all, everyone watching. And we're on to move on to a tribute to a friend of ours, Valentine Shipley, whose birthday it is today. And if you want to join in, and if you're a friend of Valentine Shipley, you can come to his Facebook page. Valentine Shipley is a very popular musician. Just Google him, just type it on Facebook, and join us for this tribute, this musical tribute that is going to start at 8 p.m. But we as friends are joining in at 7:30 and spending the next 2 hours together. Thank you, Bobby. See you soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Love you and leave you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.